Good morning. Today I'm going to use the reading from January 7th, the first reading, not the gospel today. A reading from the first letter of St. John. Beloved, we receive from him whatever we ask, because we keep his commandments and do what pleases him. And his commandment is this: we should believe in the name of his Son, Jesus Christ, and love one another just as he has commanded us. Those who keep his commandments remain in him, and he in them. And the way we know that he remains in us is from the Spirit whom he gave us. Beloved, do not trust every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they belong to God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. This is how you can know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges Jesus Christ come in the flesh belongs to God. And every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus does not belong to God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, who, as you heard, is to come, but in fact is already in the world. You belong to God, children, and you have conquered them, for the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. They belong to the world according to their teachings, and accordingly their teachings belong to the world, and the world listens to them. We belong to God. Anyone who knows God listens to us, while anyone who does not belong to God refuses to hear us. This is how we know the spirit of truth and the spirit of deceit. My sisters and brothers, the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Many years ago, we probably all remember that expression, which is very simplistic, and sometimes it's too simplistic, but what would Jesus do? And in fact, when we think of the complicated world that we live in, the pandemic, we're tempted to always look for the easy answer, but in some ways there's a real wisdom there. Today, St. John is telling us, test every spirit. Test what's going on. What is happening help us to come to know Jesus? Does the words of Jesus, the life of Jesus, the teachings of Jesus, do they fit or do they not fit? He says, test the spirits. And so when we look at how we are to look at the world, what would Jesus do becomes a very realistic way to think about it. Many of the things that we think about. Is this a good thing or not? How should we respond to the poor? How do we respond to different situations? To say to ourselves, how does the teachings of Jesus, how he taught us and how he lived, help us to think through what we're experiencing? Vatican II talks about reading the signs of the times in the light of the gospel. Such helpful words for us to discern what it is we are to do, to look at the signs of the times that we live in, but always in the light of the gospel, in the light of the person of Jesus Christ. Today's readings say that if we stick with Jesus, we won't be lost. The Antichrist, those who are against Jesus, is already in the world. We can recognize the Antichrist by his works, not along the path of Jesus. And we recognize Jesus by works of love and mercy. Let us ask God today for the grace that we may know the Spirit of Jesus, and that Spirit will help us to navigate the complicated world that we live in. God bless.